Alright guys, welcome back to another one. I am the Gold Standard and today we are doing how to beat Black Yellow Luffy with Bonney. So as always, I've broken this video into two parts. The first part are the rules that I typically follow when going up into a Black Yellow Luffy match. And part two, I will go over opening hands that I'm looking for and also ways to use the cards in this deck to their full advantage to exploit the weaknesses of Black Yellow Luffy. So guys, sit back, grab a coffee or whatever it is you want to drink and let's get into this. Okay guys, so rule number one for the Black Yellow Luffy matchup is to starve Luffy out in the beginning. And that's especially true because not only does it take their leader ability offline, but if we go into a generic Black Yellow Luffy deck, we'll see that the only cards that they have really to take their own life are Flampe, Hiyori, Makino, and they can use this Luffy. But if you starve them out in the beginning and they have to use these Flampes, Hiyoris, or Makinos to, take their own life, these are also the only 2Ks that they are running in this deck. And Black Yellow Luffy is really a double-edged sword because, yes, he is a 9K leader a lot of the time, but all of the times that he is a 9K leader, he either has one life card or no life cards. And so if you are swinging into him very heavily and you've already forced them to use a lot of their 2K counters in the beginning to take their own life, then it's going to be that much easier at the end game to just get one big swing through. And so this is what I mean about starving Black Yellow Luffy out in the beginning with Bonney. This also allows you time to build your board up in the mid game and late game and assemble the cards that you really need. Rule number two for this matchup is that in the mid game, you really want to try and find your Kid or your Basil and utilize those blockers. Your Rouge is KOable by their Luffy, and so you can really only depend on these two to actually stand up to any of the attacks that they're getting. And what's nice is Basil matches their Ace, is very close to their Luffy even when it's powered up, and is actually not far off from stopping a 9K swing with some counter. And so these two are kind of like your big defense if you can find them in the mid game, and it sets you up very nicely for the end game. And rule number three is that once they get their Sabos onto the board, as much as possible you want to try and leave them alone, because their big trick at the end is that they recycle Sabos out of the trash, and now all of their stuff is not only immune to removal, but they also have at least one blocker up. What you end up doing with Sabo here is when they attack in, you make sure that you rest Sabo, and a lot of times even if they play like an ace out or something, I'll still rest the Sabo because I know that the next turn I'm going to swing into them. As much as you can, like I said, you want to leave the Sabos alone and either keep them rested or wait for the right moment when they swing in and you can rest a Sabo and get that final big swing through. So yeah guys, before I get into the opening hands, if you're finding any value in this video, please like, sub, all of that. It really does help the channel. And guys, if you have any extra tips or strategies for this matchup, please leave them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. You're always posting very useful and interesting strategies. So yeah, thanks for watching and let's get into the opening hands. Okay guys, so that being said, let's get into some opening hands and kind of what you're looking for in an ideal scenario against Black Yellow Luffy. Now, before I get too in-depth on the opening hands, I want to point out that with this deck list, I'm playing with Rosie and Luffy here, which you can absolutely replace and put in, another Zoro, another Hody for these two, and then maybe the two Bonney 5-drops. I'm doing this for a different video, but, the deck and the ideas around it still operate, as usual, and so, don't get too stressed out about that. So the two cards that will basically win you this matchup are Zoro. Without a doubt, when you get Zoro down, there's basically no way that they can win that match, especially if you have any type of defense along with it that you can, withstand one turn. So Zoro is basically your go-to in this matchup, and the other one that's huge in this matchup is Hody Jones, and that's because they depend on their Sabos to defend them in the late game. And if you can just rest both of them and you can get, a big swing here through, maybe you've got a Kid set up or even potentially a Dofi, those swings are definitely going to get through at some point. And so that's why these two are the kind of the two biggest ones you're looking for. The other two that are huge in this matchup are obviously the Kid and Basil blockers. If you can find those alongside these two, you're going to be in a great spot. And finally, Dofi is massive in this matchup because what'll happen is at a certain point you can just keep their Sabos rested and start the freezing game of like they'll swing in, you rest a Sabo, and they've got a few other things, and so they end up not having things in the trash that they need to pull for their leader ability, and it's all because you've got it still rested on the board. And so if you can pull two Dofis or something like that and chain two of them together, the matchup is basically yours at that point. Cavendish is another great card in this matchup because if you can get Cav down, most likely he's going to stay, and then if you start chaining Dofis and freezing stuff, you can get back the 2 Dawn by swinging into their leader. Even if they're 9k, the attack doesn't go through, but you still get the 2 Dawn back. Now your leader ability is back online, and you've frozen a lot of their stuff. So I think these two couple together very nicely in this matchup. And so yeah, guys, those are the big things that I'm looking for in this deck. Like I said in the beginning, on paper, this matchup is very favorable for Bonney, especially if you're playing like 3 Zoros or 4 Hodis or something, because you're very likely to see one of those two in your opening hand. And again, if you can pair it with a Searcher, you are in a great position. Alright guys, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching, and let's get into the gameplay. Alright, we are in it with Black Yellow Luffy, and I will take second from them. Great, we've got the Rouge. I've got the Rosie into Cav play. I'll keep this. We'll see how this goes. This could be interesting. Black Yellow Luffy is an interesting matchup for this because... Oh, actually, that's the card we need for this matchup, because you just need to swing like so heavy at the end. So do we even want anything? Nah. So yeah, we'll go here, then, you know, maybe get a couple of minor attacks. The thing is, I'm gonna leave him alone so that I can get the Zoro down and just kind of keep focusing on board and stuff like that in the early part of this game. Because if I get the Zoro down and yeah, cool. Okay, even this really helps in this matchup too. So let's go ahead, get rid of this guy, do your Rouge out, and end our turn. Sure, I'll take another. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to just take the hit. That's fine. Cool. Alright, so we'll go Cav, because then next turn I'll go Rosie into another Cav, and we can kind of just keep milling that board apart. So we'll go here. I'm gonna just leave it there, honestly. Sure, I'll take another Dawn. So I'm gonna have to start at least defending a little bit these turns. Okay, he takes another life. That's fine. Okay, he kills the Rouge. Alright, that's fine with me. Sounds good. So one of these two is not getting through. Okay, and I have enough to get out of this one, but do I care right now? Do I care? Problem is I can't go this into this. I was really hoping that that's alright. Yeah, we'll take this one. Last one. Okay, it's another search off. Okay, we got Basil. So we go this into X-Drake. Alright, let's just go ahead and just do a massive swing here on this guy. Let's see what he does. So if we get a bunch of cards out of hand, I mean, it's kind of cool too. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down, get a search off. Sure, we'll take the Cav. Cool, call it there. Just keep this starving action going. Lampay takes his life. Assuming he's got another Flampay and he can, you know, go into Hiyori. Okay, so he's gonna put a kid down now because he loads the kid. Okay, and then he's got probably enough to do. Let's see what he does here. Yeah, so he's gonna leader ability, load 2 life here. And the last turn, if we would have had a Rosinante kid, that would have been. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered with the 1, but with Cav, we could have gotten it off. And Bonney, okay. So he's a 9, and no attacks. Wild, absolutely freaking wild. So, because the way we have to do this now is we have to go Zoro, swing, put down this blocker, and kind of just make sure that that sticks. That's the game plan, guys. That's the game plan. Yep. So we end it there. We just see now, because if we can keep the Zoro down, like it can't be removed, we're gonna get some, big swings next turn. He can do his like little leader ability thing right now, where he can, but he can't do the big gecko play or anything like that right now because like there is one in life, and I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. The typical Black Yellow Luffy strat right now is a little bit messed up. Counter out of this one for sure. Okay, kid down. All right. All right. So now what to do? Puts 2 on here. Fills his life up. Okay. Okay, another blocker. Cool. Okay. Cool, cool. All this is still fine. 6, huh? Because I kind of want to keep some life just in case we get some rush stuff going. So we'll give this up. Okay. So let's go ahead. A swing. See what he does. Okay, that's fine with us. Yeah, we go here. I'm gonna go ahead and get one of these out of here. Alright. So we'll put one on him. Rest him. And I think we'll call it there. This should be good. Yeah, we'll leave it there. Maybe could have attacked again, but it just doesn't matter really right now, I don't think. Okay. No, okay, cool. Okay, he's doing his leader ability thing, so he's gonna discard, put some more Sabos in there. So he's gonna load 1 Sabo, which I'm totally fine with, honestly. We'll just do this. Honestly, what, 2? I can't counter that, so he can have that. Because now he has to play, yeah, this is fine. Yeah, and this one I will counter out of because we want that. We want that guy. Oh, okay, yeah, so we're good. That's it, guys. That's game. So we swing for 16, burn 1. Okay, swing again. We set him as active. We use this here, get these 2 back, and then we swing again. Cool. So yeah, I mean that was Black Yellow Luffy. Obviously Zoro is the card you're looking for in that matchup. That was a good one. Cool guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.